Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 2017 Silverfern Annual Meeting. I wanted to provide some color about where we've been, where we are today, and where we're going. Our current growth includes building out the network in both Europe and Australia. That's resulted in 4 European investments and more recently 2 in Australia. We've added asset classes that are complementary to our core business. That includes real estate in 2014, which has resulted in 3 real estate platform investments. Today, all fully stabilized and all distributing capital back to the investors. Our private equity and real estate businesses are creating significant credit opportunities, and we're beginning to expand in this area. We're also creating new investment structures to meet investor objectives and increase investment opportunities and velocity, which help all investors. How do we do that? Through the high-quality talent of our existing investment team and many of our partners. I'm extraordinarily proud of the team that we have assembled.
We are and remain one of the few truly global middle-market multi-asset management firms. Our strategy is to mitigate systemic risk by diversification. We do not want all our eggs in one basket, be that a currency, be that a geography, an industry, an asset type. We now have 22 investments and not a single one bought off an intermediary or a bank. We believe, and I think that our returns are showing, that non-correlated assets create alpha in your portfolio. It's important that you manage those macro risks as you look to manage the micro risks within the investments in your portfolio. You create wealth over the long term, not by hitting a 10 and being lucky. You create wealth over the long term by singles, doubles, and triples, and doing it consistently. We achieve that strategy through partnering. That's really who we are. We have a strong, defensible, competitive advantage. We've spent the last 15 years building 2 large global information networks. And one of those networks are the people sitting in this room, with the investors in Silverfern, which today are over 65 of the world's largest and most sophisticated families, and institutions, and that makes us local in 23 countries today. These 2 networks give us information and a proprietary off-market information flow that we can arbitrage in looking at these investments to understand value where other people can't see it.
Silverfern Real Estate, which is going around 3 years old now, has completed 3 platform investments. Our investment geographies include the United States and Western Europe. Today, our real estate efforts mirror those of our private equity, which is to say, we are middle market direct investors in co-control with generally larger tickets, but equity investments. On the real estate side, we are agnostic to asset class. We'll do multifamily, industrial, retail, hotel, and office. The 2 most important things to our outlook in real estate are probably similar things that you would hear Rita and Clive suggest on private equity, which is who are our partners and how do we look at capital preservation. Moving forward, what we want to be able to take advantage of, the flexibility to move up and down the capital stack and take advantage of opportunities.
If you take a look at our private equity portfolio, it is a broad portfolio, invested in a number of transactions around the world. We also made our first 2 investments in the Australia market after looking for a number of years in that market. Completed 1 very recent liquidity event in Carlisle Bank shares and 4 new investments in the year as well.
Matt Tamplin is the CEO of Waste Services, so he's going to speak about the business and talk about his experience with us and the organisation.
When I was approached in regards to the opportunity, having spent close to 20 years in logistics in a range of industries outside of waste, I was really impressed with the fundamentals of the business and the very astute and disciplined approach that both businesses had to their respective markets. I think the relationships between the founders, between Silverfern and the new members of the management team are developing really well.
I'm glad that today, now exactly a year ago, we made the investment together with Goldman Sachs into Continental Bakeries.
We believe that, absolute size doesn't matter, but you need to be leading in certain segments. So at the end, you need to be this number 1 or 2 supplier for our major customers. The 10 segments that we have, yes, there we have this number 1, 2 position. We get in with one of our big products, and then we enlarge it with our total assortment. We got proven integration skills. It is a very large and fragmented market, so there are a lot of opportunities for potential acquisitions. We have a monthly meeting, also with Silverfern present, so they are as involved as we as management are.
I'm Brooks Climley, and I'm pleased to be introducing our Broad River investment here today.
I'm delighted to be speaking at the annual meeting for the Silverfern Group. We're a manager for a mid-cap sized private equity firm. Most of our senior people come from industry. So we're not financial guys turned private equity investors. We're actually guys who grew up in the power and pipeline space, and we've developed, we think, a unique and distinguished business plan and path for acceptable risk-adjusted returns in our space. There's some things in the market around Broad River that are occurring that are making this investment look more and more valuable on a daily basis.
We're pleased to introduce Ravi Porthalanka, the Chief Executive Officer of Locust Point Networks.
We saw an opportunity where there was a significant value gap between the spectrum that was being used for TV and how it could potentially be used for mobile broadband. We wanted to make sure that we had a team that was able to make quick decisions. We had a process that was set up with Blackstone and Silverfern, which was very effective in terms of how we made decisions, because we were acquiring things, we're selling things, and there was something going on every month. The second thing is the alignment between the investor group, Blackstone, Silverfern, and then also the management team. I think we came to appreciate how important that was over time.
We understand as business builders that we have a responsibility to give back. This is the basic premise behind our Constant Give Back program. Our first such project is to be the anchor supporter of the Gender Initiative at Harvard Business School.
You probably all see in the media, in companies, there's actually a pretty vibrant discussion happening about diversity and inclusion, happening about women's careers, and so we're trying to bring really rigorous research insights to bear on that conversation. Our faculty are going to be doing this work no matter what in terms of producing the knowledge, but having the initiative is what allows us to be more effective in bringing it to practice.
We have a very consistent investment strategy. We haven't been changing it, and we don't intend to because it's working. It's that simple. We look to find value and price dislocations, and we look to make investments in those situations where we can see that those price and value dislocations are either temporary or fixable. We buy good businesses that make money, and we help them make more money.